What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming back at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Hope you guys had a great week this past weekend. Got a chance to see some people and hang out and have a good time. Got a chance to kick it with my oldest son, who just recently turned 30. So had a good time there. So I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. Want to get you guys started, kicked off in the right fashion, man. We got some interesting news to talk about around the Big Ten. And first of all, though, I'd like to just share with you guys, I was able to call the Bulls season opener at Detroit with Chuck Swirsky on the radio, and I had a blast. I'm glad I can keep a poker face because I was like a little kid, man. I mean, calling a Bulls game, guys, come on now. One of the iconic franchises in the NBA. I had a blast, and this is a fun team to really watch and get behind. No more Jim Boylan. All right. So enough about the NBA stuff. I came across a really interesting poll. The Athletic did. And so I love the Athletic. They do the long form articles and things like that. They go pretty in depth. And so every day they have something that's pretty, I find interesting, but this one really stuck out to me. So the Athletic did a poll of the top 20 guards in college basketball. Tony, throw that up for us so we can see that real quick. So here's the top three. Now, we know that the Big Ten is the land of the giants, but the top three guards in the country, according to this poll, was Johnny Juzang, UCLA, Jaden Ivey, the sophomore at Purdue, and Andre Curbelo, the sophomore at Illinois. So I'd be interested to see what you guys think. I see Les Toast Media. Good to see you. But the Big Ten gets all this love, as they should, from their bigs. We talk about Kofi Cockburn, Hunter Dickinson, Trace Jackson Davis at Indiana, Travion Williams at Purdue, Cliff Omarugi, who's going to have a breakout season, I believe, at Rutgers. A plethora of bigs, and I didn't even name them all. But the fact that the rest of the country is understanding that the Big Ten also has quality guards, and I'm talking the second and third best guards in the country reside in the Big Ten Conference. So I thought, what's up, Andrew Moody? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining. I was really shocked that Jaden Ivey and Andre Curbelo got that much love nationally. So Jaden Ivey got some international playing experience with Team USA. I believe he was under 19. And there was another player that got the MVP, but a lot of scouts thought that Jaden Ivey was the best player on that team. So his draft stock has obviously elevated. He's being touted possibly as a late lottery selection. So it's really good to see Jaden Ivey start to get this love. I didn't put him in my first team, all Big Ten. I probably should have switched him and his teammate Travion Williams out. But I think that that's a really good sign for the Big Ten Conference coming up this season, that not only are we, does the conference have a plethora of bigs, but they've got quality guard play as well. And then I haven't even mentioned, I'm going to call him Bucket, Qadis Wahad. I believe is how you, Qadis Wahad, something like that. He's a big transfer center from Georgetown that's at Maryland. He's going to be in the mix in terms of quality bigs as well. But don't sleep on Jaden Ivey, Andre Curbelo at Illinois. I think Jonathan Davis is going to be a pro at Wisconsin. He's a sophomore. Geo Baker and Ron Harper Jr. at Rutgers are elite guards. And then you've got Jamari Wheeler, who's a transfer from Penn State. He's at Ohio State now. They got Cedric Russell, who's an outstanding impact transfer guard. So the bigs are holding down the national notoriety, but the guard play in the Big Ten is not going to be too shabby either. So I think that it's going to be very, very interesting to see. Donovan Lane, my man, good to see you. Good morning, good evening from Singapore. Donovan Lang is a tribe member. So if you see that number on the bottom, 312-847-2739, you can be in the inner circle of Bardo's Breakdown. So I get behind the scenes looks at the Bulls game. I did a little quick, kind of live so that the people in Bardo's Breakdown group and the tribe can see that. So if you want to be a member of the tribe, text me to 312-847-2739. But my man Donovan Lang has been that's my A1 from day one. He's been riding with me ever since. So love you, bro. Glad to see you on here. So I wanted to share that with you guys just to let you know. I mean, people in the Big Ten know how talented Andre Curbelo and maybe a lot of people didn't understand how talented Jaden Ivey is going to be because he kind of came on late in the season last year and really turned it on in the latter part of the regular season, Big Ten Conference tournament, and then also in the first round upset. I believe he had 24 points in that loss that Purdue suffered. So really good sign that there's going to be balance in the Big Ten in the backcourt as well as the front court. I've got my own list of Big Ten breakout players that I want to share with you guys. Tony, can you throw that up real quick? All right. So some of these names you guys will recognize, and then some will kind of surprise you. So you heard me mention Jonathan Davis at Wisconsin. Jonathan is one of the best athletes at the guard position that Wisconsin has had in some time. I mean, I have to maybe go back to Orlando Tucker, in terms of athleticism. You typically don't see guards that have the skill set, the toughness, because Jonathan was an outstanding quarterback in high school. And typically you guys that have rocked with me from day one, y'all hear me say this a lot, where high school players that have football background, they have an advantage when they come to college basketball because they know leverage, they know space, they know how to use their body a little bit better than guys who just play basketball. So Jonathan Davis should have a big year. Keegan Murray already had an outstanding freshman year. He was just overshadowed by two pros, Joe Wieskamp and Luka Garza. But Keegan Murray can do everything, ladies and gentlemen. 6'7", 6'8", can put it on the deck, can go in the post. He's going to get more confident in his outside shot. He's going to be asked to do a lot more for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So you're going to see this young man. I think that if he has a type of season that I think he's going to have, he's probably going to be gone after this season. He's that talented. And Fran McCaffrey, quite honestly, does a fantastic job of developing talent with those Iowa Hawkeye players. He really understands the players that fit his scheme and his system. And Keegan Murray and his twin brother Keenan, I believe, will also have something to say before it's all said and done for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Third on the list is Cliff Omarugi. Big fellow from Rutgers, was a top 50 recruit, but he hurt his knee in his freshman year, and he was never really he never got back to his top form. Well, Steve Peichel, the head coach at Rutgers, thinks that Cliff Omarugi could have a breakout season. 6'10", very athletic, very strong. I don't think he'll be the shot blocker that Miles Johnson was. Miles Johnson transferred to UCLA. He's not a rim protector as good, but he's really good, but he's way better offensively. Can run the floor a lot faster. So Cliff Omarugi, you'll hear Geo Baker and Ron Harper Jr. a lot, but don't sleep on Cliff Omarugi. He could be one of the more elite bigs in a conference that has the best bigs in the country. That's how high I think his ceiling could be. Fourth on the list is Coleman Hawkins. When I was with Brad Underwood a couple weeks ago, he could not stop talking about this young man. And we're going to talk about Illinois' exhibition game and what Coleman did in that. But at 6'10", he's stronger. Brad Underwood calls him an elite defender. Not good, an elite defender. So he can hit the three. He's an underrated passer. He can put it on the deck. He's a stretch four. He's a hybrid forward that can give you a lot of different options. You'll see Coleman Hawkins play the 5 position, some for the Illini this year. Just when they want to mix up and they want to throw a different look at opponents, the Illini, in my opinion, probably the deepest team in college basketball. Coleman Hawkins is going to be a key to that because he can give the Illini such flexibility at 6'10" with his skill set and his ability to be an elite defender. And last but not least on the list is an unusual name because Joey Hauser, he kind of got lost last year. Tom Izzo said COVID really affected him more than any other player. The isolation, that the players had to deal with throughout the year, the testing, the protocols. It really wore this young man down mentally. And he was a shell of himself. I think that you're going to see Joey Hauser return to the form that had him as a newcomer of the year in the Big Ten before last season. And he is a 6'9" guy that is, it sounds similar to Coleman Hawkins, but I think he's more talented than Coleman Hawkins in terms of offensive skill. He's got game. Joey can take you in the post. He can put it on the deck. He shoots the three. When his confidence is up, he can shoot the three as well as anybody on the floor. So Joey Hauser, people have forgotten about him because of his year last year and his struggles. I think he's going to come out and have a breakthrough season. Don't sleep on Austin Hutchinson for the Illini. Curtis Cole. Curtis, I got you on that. We're going to talk about him in a minute. But Austin Hutchinson is another player, a 6'5", 6'6" wing guy that has had a lot of injuries since transferring into Illinois. And so if he can become healthy, he could be yet another weapon for this deep Illini team, guys. So ought to be a lot of fun. Let me see here. Let me shout out my people. Andrew Moody. Zoomer Sports. I'm telling y'all hear me say this every time he comes on. Go check out Andrew on Instagram and on TikTok. Pardon me. He does a really good job. He's got this technology thing down. You heard it here first. He's going to make a lot of money in this business if he chooses to go that route. I'm sure he's got some other skill sets that maybe I'm unaware of, but he's really, really good at breaking down sports on his platforms. Check him out. Good to see you on here, Andrew. What's up, Dave Crosby? Good to see you. Talking about the Illini. Stacy Goodson, what's up? Good to see you. Shannon Williams, what's happening? Doug, oh man, my people. Now, this is proof that Illini and Boilers can get along. This is Doug Lee. Doug, I don't know if you guys remember, Doug Lee was an outstanding two guard at Purdue. Played with the Sacramento Kings, and I want to say the Pistons or the Jazz. But he had a good career overseas, had a good career in the NBA, and he's doing fantastic things with his businesses based out in Las Vegas. So shout out to Doug and Becky Lee of Purdue fame. Just letting you know that Illini can get along with anybody when they want to. Marcus Simpson, good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. And Carol Poquette, my A1 from day one, she's just like Donovan Lane. She's a tribe member. Want to check in, even though I have to get going in about 5 minutes. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate you. Always appreciate your support. I think that I gave you the top 20, the top 20 guards, the three guards that we talked about: Johnny Juzang, Jaden Ivey of Purdue, and Andre Curbelo of the Illini, and my breakout players we just talked about. I do want to mention that the Illini had an exhibition game, and they played St. Francis of Illinois, and they won 101-34. So the score obviously is not the thing that we want to focus on. I want to focus on these three players right here. Coburn was very efficient. He was 6 of 8 from the field. I think that you're going to see, as long as Coburn can shoot 70% from the free throw line, according to his head coach, he's going to be allowed to shoot 3-point shots. And that's going to be interesting because the big fella has touch that a lot of Illini fans haven't seen yet, but it's there. Coleman Hawkins, like I talked about, 13 points, 5 rebounds, very skilled. He was very efficient as well. He will get a chance. He'll get more and more comfortable as the season goes along, and he's going to be a key. And then Caleb Barkley says Hutchinson is a stud. Watch out. Hutchinson, 14.7 rebounds. And again, at 6'6", he's really athletic, can score. I believe he knocked down 2 or 3 3-point shots. He was going to be a key. He was the X factor last year that I had for the Illini. I didn't know that Jacob Granderson would come in and blossom as quickly as he did. I thought Hutchinson would be the one that would kind of be in that 3-4 spot. So if Hutchinson can stay healthy, and he can score. Then you got Granderson, who started last year and did a fantastic job at the 4. Then you got Coleman Hawkins, who can go 4 or 5. Omar Payne can go 4 or 5. Obviously, Kofi in the paint. You see what I'm getting at, guys? This team is loaded. Loaded. And it's going to be really fun to watch. Oh, wow. Okay, Facebook user says, I am lobbying for Coburn to imitate Tim Duncan and stick around for a full term in Champaign. Well, I don't know who you are, Facebook user, but thanks for the question. If that NIL money keeps rolling in like it is, you may have a case there. Because, I'm not going to throw out any numbers that I've heard, but let's just say that, if the NIL stays the way it is for Coburn right now, he may not take a big pay cut, or he may not make that much more by leaving Illinois than what he's setting up to get it through the NIL. And you know what? That's the way it should be. Because think about it, ladies and gentlemen. What if the NIL was in effect when the Flying Illini came through Champaign? We would have got paid. Now, the problem is they probably would have, if they had camera phones back then we would have been in trouble. I'm just going to keep it like that. We would have been in trouble. So probably a good thing we didn't have NIL. I'm happy for the guys now. I saw where T.T. Washington is a guard that's at Kentucky, and he Illinois was in the mix there as well. He just got a Porsche deal. So I saw a blurb on Twitter, a couple pictures of the white Porsche truck that he got. So I'm like, man, it's kind of good to see these players roll around instead of guys getting stuff under the table illegally. And you see them roll around campus in these rides. It's like, man, that looks a little iffy. But now you see a guy in a ride and it's all above board. So it's a beautiful thing. Who do you have to win the Big Ten this year? Me, I got Michigan. Of course, Captain Fletcher. Captain is a tribe member. Thank you, Captain. Of course, Captain would have them winning the Big Ten because he's a Detroit native. So here's the thing with Michigan. They're very, very young, but they're very, very talented. Now, they have enough upperclassmen in Eli Brooks, fifth-year senior. Hunter Dickinson might as well be an upperclassman because he was one of the best players in the league last year as a freshman. So he's back. But Musa Diabate, I think that's how you pronounce it. People are really high on this incoming freshman. He is a freak of nature. He's a gregarious kid. He's fun, high energy, rim protection. They are really high on him. Kofi Buffkin was also a McDonald's All-American, very athletic guard, very capable. Frankie Collins is an incoming freshman guard, is a downhill type of guard that can break down defenses. Devontae Jones is a transfer from Coastal Carolina, and he scored 19 points a game. And I believe was first team all defensive team as well. So this is a really high level two-way guard. So although, and the kid that I think probably is going to be the key to their season is Caleb Houston. He's a Canadian of origin, but went to the IMG Academy and about as smooth as you're going to see from a 6'8", 6'9" freshman. Played on Team Canada in the under-19 and really, really played well. So you have Michigan winning. I had Purdue winning, but I'm going to change my pick. I think I've got Illinois winning the Big Ten because I didn't realize how deep they are. With Aaron Plummer, the transfer guard from Utah, can shoot from the parking lot. So the Illini they have everything. They have size. They have depth. They have guys that can break you off the bounce. They got guys that can shoot from the parking lot. Kofi Coburn led the country in dunks last year. I don't really see, with the talent that's around him, I don't really see how that's going to change much. Because if you double down on Kofi, Trent Frazier was leading the country in three-point field goal percentage at one point last year. He's a dead-eye shooter, as is DeMonte Williams. Andre Corbello has improved his three-point shot. Plummer on a wing. Granderson shot 39%. at the 4 position, he shot 39% from 3. So if you double down on Kofi, he's got four teammates that can spray you. So you're gonna have to pick your poison against the Illini, ladies and gentlemen. And they're so deep that they can absorb an injury. That's the key. Because if you remember last season with Michigan, when Ayo Dosunmu went out and Illinois went to Ann Arbor and beat them like they stole something, they had the depth last year to withstand the loss of Ayo Dosunmu for a couple games down the regular season stretch. And that really gave them a lot of confidence. So I had Purdue as my early favorite, but I'm switching it up. I'm going Illinois because there's nobody in the country that is as deep, that has a combination of players that they have. They've got the best point guard in the country and the best big in the country. So, and they've got everything else. So I feel you, Captain, but I've got Illinois to win the Big Ten title. Trent was really playing hard-nosed defense Saturday night. He was diving for loose balls from the start. Thank you, Carol. See, Carol was at the game. And again, you don't want to look at the score so much. You just want these teams to be able to beat up on other teams because they're going against each other every day. It gets old. You want somebody else to attack that doesn't know your stuff, that's not playing your plays. You want to see how effective you can be. So you don't take a ton from the score, but the intangibles that Carol is sharing, that's what you want to see. Are they already locked in? Are they already diving for the ball? What's the communication like? Because the offense early in the year, ladies and gentlemen, is always going to be behind the defense. The defense is much easier to set up than your offense. So you're gonna see turnovers and whatnot early on. Andre Curbelo had 5 in that exhibition game, and he's gonna have high turnovers because he takes chances. So you got to live with some of those mistakes. But boy, he connects a lot more than he doesn't. So it's going to be interesting to see. E. Small, my brother from another mother, one of the flying Illini. And he says, no trouble, we were Saints. So Irvin speaking for himself. I'm just kicking it real, y'all. I mean, Barnett, I'm just kicking it real. That's 30-something years ago. If they can get me now, then they get me. But Barnett Liquor's got a lot of my $1.05 Old English 800, baby. Y'all heard me say that before. So Irvin didn't do anything. He drank tea and milk in his 4 years at Illinois. But every now and then I used to enjoy my Old English. So I'm just going to kick it real. Good to see you, Irvin. Thanks for jumping on, man. Really appreciate the support. Joe Zimney, me and Joe grew up together in Carbondale. Get paid, get in trouble. Yeah, right. No, it's all good. Good to see you, Joe. Hope you're doing well, man. Jeff Jarvis. Come on, Jeff. Come on, Jeff. Jeff and I grew up in Carbondale, so Jeff's an Illini fan, but come on now. We can't root for Michigan to lose every game, can we? Come on, guys. And then thanks, Jeff, for jumping on. Jeff's going to be calling radio for Carbondale High School basketball. So if you guys are in Southern Illinois region, check Jeff out on the calls because Carbondale's got some dogs, some good players coming in this season. How's the Big Ten going to stack up nationally in the NCAA tournament? They didn't do so well at the dance last year. Lynn Holly, tribe member. Thank you, Lynn, always for your support. Appreciate the question. That's the elephant in the room. And when I go on the air this year, I'm hammering the Big Ten teams because the regular season is cool. Because to get a regular season championship in the Big Ten Conference is as difficult to get a regular season championship in any conference, ACC included. So regular season champions, that makes a difference. But the money is made in the tournament. And outside of Michigan, the Big Ten really, really suffered. So my formula to win a national championship in college, you got to have 3 pros on your team. They don't all have to be NBA pros, but you got to have 3 guys that can go get money after they finish playing in college. Illinois has that. Curbelo is a pro. Kofi Coburn is a pro. I think Coleman Hawkins could possibly, if he continues to progress at 6'10" with his skill set, he's the type of stretch big that the NBA loves, right? And who knows? There may be another pro in there. But I know the Illini have at least 3 pros. I know that Michigan has at least 3 pros. I know that Indiana is going to be a surprise team in the Big Ten. Xavier Johnson, the transfer guard from Pitt, he's getting rave reviews coming out of Bloomington, Indiana. So if these Big Ten teams that we're looking at, if they got 3 pros, they have a chance to make a deep run in the tournament, because these coaches at the NCAA tournament level are so crafty and so good that they're going to take away your first and second options. You got to have players that can break formation and go get you some buckets, go get to the free throw line. If a team hits you with an 8-0 run, who do you have that can draw a foul to get to the free throw line to break momentum? We didn't see any of the Big Ten teams outside of Michigan do that in the NCAA tournament. So hopefully that answers your question, Lynn. Louis Timon, yeah, I feel you, Louis, for the Illini. And Illini fans, you guys know now, I'm not saying the Illini just because I'm a homer, because y'all know I'm not a homer. I call it like I see it. They're the deepest team in college basketball. They have everything that you need: experience, depth, size, and dynamic players. I like the Illini. Tony, I think we were going to talk about some of the exhibition games for some of the top tier Big Ten teams coming up. So right here, you have Purdue has University of Indianapolis 11-4. Michigan will host Wayne State. Michigan State has Ferris State. That will be Wednesday. So we'll get a pretty good look at what Michigan State looks like and their impact transfer guard, Tyson Walker, and what he's going to mean to them running their point guard situation. Ohio State will host Indianapolis as well, 11-1. Illinois gets another exhibition game against Indiana of Pennsylvania, 10-29, and Maryland will host Fayetteville State, 11-5. So those will give you a little bit of an idea. You can tune into BTN Plus. You have to have a subscription for it. I'm not exactly sure what that entails. Bardo's Breakdown Tribe members, I'm going to give you all, I probably shouldn't say this over there, but I'm going to give you all my login so you can check them out. So if you want to be a part of the tribe, text that number below. So let me answer any questions before we get out of here. I got a couple minutes. Any ones you see that's okay, there we go. Will a Big Ten team make the Final Four, or who do you see doing that this year? Captain, I think at least 3 teams have a pretty good possibility. Purdue, Illinois, and Michigan. Each team has what you need in terms of dynamic players. So let's talk about Purdue for a second. Jaden Ivey's a pro. They think he's going to be a late lottery pick. I think Travion Williams is going to play the next level. And Zach Edey, the 7'4" center, he played with Caleb Houston on that under-19 Canada team. He got a lot of experience, and I went to see Purdue practice. He looks really, really good. So Purdue has at least 3 pros. Michigan has maybe 5 or 6. So those top 3 teams. Now, after that, Michigan State, a lot has to come together for them, in my opinion. At Maryland has a possibility. They've got some dogs. They got some guys that can go get it. Fats Russell, Eric Ayala, Dante Scott, Qudus Wahab. They've got some guys. So if I had to say, I'd say that the Big Ten has a possibility of 3 teams that have the talent and the depth to make it to the Final Four. What do you think of Alonzo Verge Jr. out of Nebraska? Donovan, his daddy could go, and this young man can go. Alonzo Verge Jr. can get downhill, and in Fred Hoiberg's pro NBA system, he's going to be breaking cats down on the bounce and hitting three-point shooters on the wing. Nebraska's going to be very interesting. I'm not saying they're going to be upper echelon of the Big Ten, but they're going to upset some upper echelon Big Ten teams. They're very, very good. And Alonzo Verge Jr., watch his name. Quick as a hiccup, gets downhill, tough, West Side Chicago kid. It's going to be fun to watch. Well, that's going to do it, y'all. I'm going to wrap it up. I'll come back with a couple quick highlights throughout the week just to, if something comes up, just to keep you informed on what's going on. I thank all of my tribe members for joining. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your week. If you have any questions, hit this post with questions. I'll come back and check, and I'll answer as many as I possibly can. Let me check on what my man Tony. Oh, okay, there we go. So yeah, that'll do it for this edition of Bardo's Breakdown. I want to thank my main man Tony Gill on the ones and twos, back there handling everything, making everything look great. To my tribe members, thank you for joining. You guys have a great rest of your week. I'll see you soon. Peace, y'all.